What up and welcome to Rama Screen YouTube channel, and here's my review of the new documentary series Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. Let's rock this. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the teaser from a few weeks ago revealing that Drake Bell was the guy who was sexually abused by that one Nickelodeon staff member about 2 decades ago. Well, when that teaser clip arrived, it kind of broke the internet. And it went trending for that whole day. And when I saw that, I was like, what's happening? Did something happen to Drake Bell again? I mean, I actually think he's a pretty cool guy, despite him having done some regrettable, awful stuff in recent years. And then I found out that that whole thing was part of this new documentary series that will be airing on Investigation Discovery this weekend. And so I immediately contacted the publicist at ID Channel and I requested the advanced screener and they said yes. And so yeah, I've already watched all 4 episodes of this Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. And each episode is really lengthy and beefy, but they are also extremely shocking. I had to pick my jaws up from off the floor because each revelation bomb that this documentary drops, I mean, nothing can ever prepare you to receive this type of information. So heads up, a bit of friendly warning. If you are easily triggered by topics like pedophiles and sexual assault, then I do not recommend you go watching this documentary. Because trust me, Quiet on Set does not hold back one bit. It is disturbing and chilling, and at times it will leave you speechless. Directed by Mary Robertson and Emma Schwartz, Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV uncovers the toxic and dangerous culture behind some of the most iconic children's shows of the late 1990s and early 2000s. It pulls back the curtain on an empire built by creator Dan Schneider that had an undeniable grip on popular culture. Over the course of its 4 parts, the docu-series reveals an insidious environment rife with allegations of abuse, sexism, and racism. Quiet on Set will shine a spotlight on these emotional accounts, chronicling a pattern of gross, abusive, and manipulative behavior that unfolded across decades, as well as exclusive stories about child predators on set. These interviews, woven with archival footage, some of which has never been broadcast, scenes from the shows, and social media commentary, will recontextualize many moments within these series that may have seemed silly or off when first aired, but now carry a much darker undertone, offering a powerful reframing of these beloved shows. So the first episode goes straight into the heart of the matter. It features a ton of footage from Nickelodeon's old shows, and so if you were fans of All That, or Amanda Bynes, or iCarly, or Drake and Josh, for example, watching Quiet on Set will seem like going down memory lane. It's one nostalgic content after another. The difference is now you're looking at them through today's post-Me Too lens. Back then, some of it may seem innocent, but that's not the case anymore now. So knowing now those hidden implications of some of those suggestive imagery will make you feel icky, thinking, wow, Dan Schneider is a sick, twisted pervert, a creepy, disgusting, misogynistic fat fuck. The second episode goes from an overview to a little more specificity, more details about that toxic workplace, featuring more talking heads from some of the past Nickelodeon child stars who are now adults, sharing their horrific experiences. Some of them are about racism, some of them are about power play or power dynamics between the showrunners and the parents, and some of them are about how they are expendable. I mean, you've heard the old saying that this town can chew you up and spit you out. Well, apparently, and unfortunately, Nobody takes that to heart more than Nickelodeon. I mean, these kids are nothing more than commodities. They are only worth something as long as they can make money for the studio. And the way that the directors interview these people and the way that this documentary series is formatted or put together, it's all designed to punch you in the gut, if you will. Meaning, you will be taken aback by the weight of those testimonies. And the entire tone of the docu is very ominous and unsettling, and it just grabs your attention and doesn't let go from start to finish. Episode 3 is the most heart-wrenching of them all. That entire episode is dedicated to just Drake Bell and his case against that evil man who sexually assaulted him. Drake starts out by explaining his rise to fame and how he met Brian Peck. And as soon as he goes into the details of how Brian frequently abused him, there's no noise in the background. So silent, it's as if you can hear a pin drop. And Drake is very careful and articulate in his choice of words. And I really feel for the guy, you know? I mean, nobody, I repeat, nobody at such a young age as he was back then should ever have to go through or be victimized in such a horrendous, horrible way. I'm not gonna lie, episode 3 was really difficult to watch. And I'm sure it's even more difficult for Drake Bell to disclose that painful truth years after he had kept it a secret. And the aftermath of episode 3 kind of bleeds over into episode 4, which serves as the conclusion, and oh my god, episode 4 outed some really big A-lister names, so much so that you're like, wow, that is some poor judgment on their part. But the effects of everything shared on episode 3 still lingers, and it messes with my head. And it's something that I am unable to easily shake off. And you're like, oh, of course pedophiles enjoy working in environments like Nickelodeon, because that would be the equivalence of an alcoholic working at a bar, just like flies are attracted to bright light. So the fact that Nickelodeon failed to do strict vetting on their would-be employees, and on top of that, they let this kind of thing happen under their nose for such a long time, are an indictment of our money over people capitalistic mentality. And it took a movement like Me Too or a big reckoning of that magnitude for some degree of changes to happen. And even then, you wonder if it's too little too late, and if they're doing those changes just to save face or as some sort of a damage control. Unfortunately, some QAnon people out there would watch this documentary and use it to reinforce their blanket blame belief. Aha! I knew it! Hollywood is a town of pedophiles. What did I tell ya? When in actuality, pedophiles can exist anywhere in any industry. If anything, what this docu tells us is that any industry that employs young people or women or people from marginalized communities needs to have the necessary guardrails to ensure their safety. And so Quiet on Set is not just about that asshole Dan Schneider or Nickelodeon. It's also about our society and the measures that we should take to prevent this from happening ever again. So yeah, overall I give Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, the rating of 4.5 out of 5. This is a brutally raw, brutally honest expose. It's a very heavy subject matter. It's not for younger audiences, that's for sure. And so you need to be in the right mindset before consuming the information on this documentary, because outrage doesn't even begin to describe the way you will feel watching these episodes. Hey, please click the join button below to become Rama Screen members. If you are true fans of this channel and you want to see me continue doing what I do, then I need your help. I need your financial support. And you'll also get lots of perks, including my out of the theater reactions and exclusive members only videos and many, many more. So click on the link below to join Rama Screen paid membership today. Let's rock this.